Okay, this game's unironically peak. I'm not even joking, it's peak. Now I know what you're probably thinking. This game looks like one of those cheap hentai games that you find on Steam. You know the ones. Cheap games designed to be enjoyed only by people with a severe pornography addiction. And or hardcore weebs. Now while I get that many of you have already written this game off entirely after taking just one look at it, listen, just hear me out, okay? I expected just as little from this game as you do now. But I have to say, I really fell in love with this game. Like, aggressively so. And it wasn't just because of the boobs. I mean, boobs were nice, but listen, this game is surprisingly well made. Shockingly so, in fact. Dare I say it, it may be one of the most overlooked games that I have ever played so far. I'm not making this up. This right here is what peak gaming looks like. Not convinced? Neither was I. But I know the truth now. It may not be the truth you like, but it's the truth that you guys damn well deserve. So join me today as I show you the wonders of Senra Kagura-Peach Beach Splash. And in the spirit of summer, grab your trunks and get yourselves a nice cool drink. And with that, let's dive right into this.
恋に変われもっと変われ君だけのハートめがけて弾け飛んだ胸の鼓動その両手で
Hey! Stop! Why? I just don't get it. I always catch you fuckers watching this sick shit.
First, before we get into the game itself, I need to first give you all a little background and context for Peach Beach Splash, specifically its home series, as Peach Beach Splash, I'll call it PBS from now on, is not a standalone game. Oh no, instead, it is just a spin-off in a long-running and beloved game series called Senra Kagura. The series debuted in 2011 and has since expanded into numerous games, manga, anime, and merchandise. Takaki's vision for Senra Kagura stemmed from a desire to create a game that was accessible, yet deep, balancing gameplay mechanics with character-driven storytelling and a distinctive aesthetic. When asked what players would most want to see in a 3D game, Kenichiro Takaki humorously but decisively answered with rests. I mean, despite this, the guy also emphasized the importance to separate Senra Kagura from purely exploitative games, as the sexual elements was a stylistic choice rather than, a sexual choice. And since that first game, Senra Kagura has exploded in popularity. Don't underestimate this series. It's a series that has a lot of video games attached to it, and it has an adoring fan base who loves every single one of them, with Peach Beach Splash serving as a spin-off title of this popular series. And I have to emphasize this one fact specifically. Senra Kagura is not pornography. It's a fully fleshed out series that has had thought, effort, and passion poured into every aspect of its content and development. PBS differs from all the other games in the Senra Kagura series in one crucial way. While the series started out as a hack and slash, PBS in contrast is a shooter. In fact, PBS seems to be inspired by Splatoon specifically. Now, I haven't found any developers confirm this, but I mean, just look at them. I mean, come on. However, it shares elements from both hack and slash and shooter games, making it a hybrid of the two genres. So now that we better understand what PBS even is, now let's get into the gameplay. The gameplay is split into three mechanics that make up the moment-to-moment gameplay of PBS, that being movement, shooting, and cards. Movement is unique from other games thanks to the water jetpack. With it, you can use it to fly around on the ground and in the air. However, watch out, using the jetpack uses up water, and once the water runs out, no more jetpack. And that goes for all weapons, as every single weapon in the game uses up water. No more water, no more weapon, no more jetpack. And you're basically donezo, unless you reload. So it's vital to keep that water filled at all times. Then we have cards. Cards are basically the player's abilities. With it, you can use it to boost your allies or launch powerful attacks onto your enemies. Cards are the most unique items in PBS because they are also the main collectible of the video game, and collecting cards is vital, as some of the abilities that cards can provide are absolutely game-changing. Then there's pets, and I mean, they're basically just fancy cards. Cards you can't get rid of, by the way, unless you complete specific challenges to get better pets. And these three mechanics go together absolutely wonderfully. It's one of those easy to use, hard to master kind of games. But if you're really good, you can do some crazy shit like this. Skill gap aside, it's very fun to just move around and shoot, which is the most important part of the video game. One moment you're flying on the ground, dodging bullets from the air. Next, you jump up and you fly in the air and you just shoot them out of the sky. And then you use abilities and it's just, it's bloody awesome. I tell ya, if you take anything away from this, the gameplay is, in my opinion, very addicting. It's very fast paced and so far it's never failed to be boring, which that's great, right? Another thing this game does absolutely wonderfully is definitely the character customization. What blew me away was how this game actually has a proper in-depth character customization system. Like, you know, in regular games you have skins, fuck that, we have actual customization here. It's actually unironically better than what you get in most shooters. Like, what? First of all, there's a ton of varied characters, each with their own unique quirks and personality. Next, I need to just emphasize how many options you have to dress up your girls. You have tons of swimsuits to choose from and you can change the colors of all of them. There's also a butt ton of regular clothing options, and yes, you can also customize all the colors for these too. Then you can customize the hair color. Oh, and finally, my favorite part, accessories. And this is where you can tweak the little stuff. Really make your character stand out. Make them your own, you know? There's a ton of options and possibilities, and they are nearly endless. Nearly endless possibilities, I swear. Accessories are freaking awesome, especially with how the game lets you just be completely free with accessories. Like, look at this! If you're unhappy with where your accessory is, you can just move it! I used this accessory feature to put a little bow on top of one of my character's heads, and for this one samurai girl, instead of having the mask on her face, I put it on her legs, which makes it look like she took it off and is now having it hang on her clothes, which adds both charm to the character and more flair to the costume. And I mean, isn't this like the coolest thing ever? Like, have you ever played a game that lets you just move a character's glasses slightly, or add buttons onto a character's shirt? I mean, that's just cool, right? And I swear, this was such a breath of fresh air when compared to the stale, tired skin system that's found in nearly every game nowadays. Which, I mean, compared to PBS, makes other games look very limited in comparison. Wouldn't you agree? I tell ya, the game is absolutely jam-packed with content. We have 4 campaigns, bonus Paradise episodes, V-Road challenges, and some multiplayer game modes, which I'm going to go over later, but for now, let's stick with the single player. Firstly, let's start with the single player campaigns. There are 4 campaigns, each of them are called arcs. The Hanzo arc, the Hebijo arc, the Gessen arc, and the Crimson arc. And each arc takes you on an adventure how that specific team won the PBS tournament. These 4 teams are made up of very skilled shinobi schoolgirls, which come from various shinobi schools. But why are all of these very skilled fighters taking place in such an well, to put it lightly, unprofessional event? Well, it's easy. Each girl has their own reasons. Some want to become famous, others want to win the grand prize of the tournament, and others are just violently horny. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. And I mean violently horny. Yo, what the fuck? Now, there's also a super deep plot about the PBS tournament actually being the first stage of a master plan by a grand villain to take over the world in the PBS tournament to create paradise, but it's not strictly relevant. Ooh, how very ominous and scary. Unfortunately, I couldn't really make much sense of this plot point, but this is a spin-off, right? So it's like, I haven't played the main games. There's context I'm missing here, so yeah. But I mean, it's barely relevant anyway. Story-wise, the most focus is honestly on the girls themselves and how they interact with one another. And that's generally where the entertainment comes from with these cutscenes. Not like watching a grand master plan unfold or anything, but rather watching these cute girls do cute girl things. Kinda like watching a couple puppy videos. And I mean, sure, you could argue that this is really shallow, but I mean, it's also very entertaining. Especially the characters' dynamics with one another. It's very entertaining, honestly. All of these characters also have their own character arcs, their own squabbles, their own struggles, and they change a lot throughout the journey, which keeps the story fresh. As for the actual levels though, all the levels in the campaign are multiplayer maps, and they do tend to repeat a lot throughout the 4 arcs, I will be honest. Typically in these levels you're going to be facing hordes of weak enemies, putting out fires, or facing against enemy teams. The gameplay in these levels as well is very short. Some stages can be completed within a single minute, and that was actually on my first try as well with some of these stages, which leaves a lot to be desired, I'll be honest. Now I know that sounds pretty repetitive, but trust me, it didn't actually feel that repetitive when I was playing it. And I personally got through the whole campaign, all 4 of them, without being bored even once. That's saying something, right? One thing they did really well with this game though was the boss fights, with all of them feeling very unique from one another. My favorite boss fight was this one in the Gessen arc, where all the girls get to make their own wishes, but Riona specifically wishes to become giant for whatever reason. This came out of absolutely nowhere. Now I was going to get into the Paradise episodes, but after playing them I realized they're simply too good to spoil. So you guys will just have to discover that little joy for yourselves. Instead, the last part of the single player that I'm really gonna get in depth in is the V-Road Challanges, which are surprisingly deep for what they are. They're basically a bonus mode where you choose a team of girls to face off in a tournament style event, and the deeper you go in the tournament, the harder it gets. But it's so much more than that. Eventually, it's gonna get so hard that you can't even win. That means you will need to upgrade both your teammates and yourself in order to progress, by upgrading weapons, cards, etc. That means you will need to design your team in a way that it matches both your play style and also complementing your team's abilities. This goes for yourself as well as your teammates. I would definitely recommend playing this game mode a couple times before jumping into multiplayer, as you learn how to better play efficiently in this game mode. It's also great for farming money offline. A fair warning though, maxing out your cards and characters takes a fair bit of grinding. However, the moment-to-moment gameplay is so engaging that you really don't feel it. Upgrading your character and gear feels very rewarding, and you feel like you're really building towards something. It's super fun, and the little dopamine rush you get when unpacking those cards is freaking awesome, especially the little jingle they make. Oh my goodness, this feeling is really unique. It reminds me of that quote that game companies used to use when they were trying to sell us loot boxes. It's like opening a Kindle egg. Well, in this case, this couldn't be more true actually. Just collecting cards alone guarantees you upgrade points. And all the cards are beautifully rendered, and best yet, you can't buy cards with real money. You can only get them through playing the video game. I love it! Now I could end the video right here and my point would still stand. PBS would still be an absolute gem of a game that I'd recommend you experience right away. However, if I did that, I would be missing out on a major selling point of this video game, that being the multiplayer. And I have to say, it is probably the core aspect of PBS. It is the thing that makes this game special. It's good. It's shockingly good. I'm frustrated with how good it is. Believe me when I say, this is some of the most fun I've had with a multiplayer shooter in what's probably years. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but still, it's fun. It's clear that this game was designed with the multiplayer experience in mind. Everything just kind of clicks. The movement, the abilities, the fights, even the squirmy finishes. It all just comes together in a wonderful blend of sexy chaos. And what makes this experience even better is the community. Now for context, due to the game's absolutely terrible state at launch, the multiplayer died almost immediately after the game was released. So finding a natural match via the search is, to say, impossible. Instead, there are a bunch of various PBS online communities who, through the power of friendship, have managed to keep the multiplayer of the game alive. One of these communities is the Peach Beach Splash headquarters, and they are some of the nicest people I have ever met in an online game. Peach Beach Splash is a special game to me. Is it the best game in the world? No. Is it the kind of game I would recommend to everyone? Also no. The truth is, it's a niche game that appeals to a specific type of audience, and in my opinion it does that very well. Some may be scared off by its horniness, others may just write it off as nothing but a simple porn game. And if I have managed to at least convince one of you guys that this game is far more than just that, then this video will have done its job. This game is truly unique. Its style is unlike anything I have ever seen, and it does it very well. I just learned about this wonderful game's existence, but as soon as I have fallen in love with this game, I've also learned that the series has been cancelled by PlayStation. PlayStation no longer wishes to support games like PBS anymore, and very few AAA devs value games like these anymore. Games that are risky, games that are wacky, and games that are just simple horny fun. Games that do its own thing and do its own thing very well. We may never get another game like PBS ever again. And I think that's a real shame, especially for the fans of the series. I'm not asking you to instantly fall in love with this game like I did, but please, give this game at least a chance. Give all strange and weird games a chance. You never know what you might find, and maybe, just like me, you'll find your new favorite game where you least expected. Right, and that should be it. That was Senra Kagura-Peach Beach Splash. To all those who stuck around until the end, I just want to tell you, thank you. Thank you so much for your support. The comments I got in my last two videos were simply magical. It has been such a great motivator to make these videos, and I hope I haven't disappointed you with this recent video. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other video, like for example my Pikmin video. I guarantee that you will enjoy that one as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a simply wonderful day. Bye bye! Mwah!